I've uploaded one video every single week for the last 17 months here on YouTube. So I know a few things about being consistent. So in this video, I will give you my number one secret to be consistent so you can go and crush it moving forward. All right, so let's get into it. So first of all, I would say the number one secret to being consistent with posting content is batch recording. And I will walk you through the problems and why most people aren't able to do this. So first of all, as you can see down here, the number one problem to why most people is not consistent is because they aren't scheduling things into their life. Meaning that if you don't have things in your calendar, or if you don't have, a certain time every single week when you're supposed to do something, it's very simple to skip it when you don't feel like it. So I would argue that most people are probably consistent, but for a very short period of time. So let's say that you're excited, you want to build a personal brand, you want to go and crush it for the next week. Honestly, you're probably going to do that. But the week after and the week after that, there will be days when you're not as motivated as in the beginning. And those days are the most important to be consistent on. Life happens, you get busy, get home late, you don't feel motivated. So there are a million different reasons to why, your brain will trick you into not doing it that particular day. But if you, do this thing that I tell you in this video, you will make your life so much more easy. So as I said, the solution here is really to batch record your content. And I'm going to be honest here. If I would not have batch recorded my content, there will be zero chance I would be, this consistent on posting things on YouTube. And the main reason is that, every single Saturday, I make a video and I post it, for the next coming week. And if I have plans for the week after, so I'm not going to be able to be at home, that particular Saturday, then I do 2 videos. So I have them, in advance. Meaning that if I'm not going to do it next week, I have to do two videos this week. And my absolute best trick here, if you want to be consistent on, making long form videos, short form videos, whatever it might be, posting things on social media, I really want you to, pick a time every single week at the same time, the same day, where you have a schedule, a meeting with yourself where you're gonna make content. Like, that's my number one tip. For me, it's Saturdays. I just feel that I'm home, low friction, I do it before lunch. Boom, it's done, and then I have everything for the next week. And this is very high leverage because, you could do the same thing, but you do it every single day instead. And, that could be working, but the problem with that is that, you leave it more to chance. So let's say you want to post one short form video every single day, and you have a meeting with yourself in the morning to make that one particular video. I would argue that it's much easier to have one time, every single week instead of having one time every single day scheduled with yourself. Because if you have and do everything at once, it becomes, this low friction. So let's say that at one time every single week, you put out 1 hour where you're gonna make, 7 short form videos or 7 short form posts. I would argue that that is much more simple than putting out 10 minutes every single day, in the morning, etc. Like, both of these things are very, very good. So if you do either of these two, you're probably gonna make it. But this video probably for those people who just, wing it, like freestyle. I maybe do one video in the evening, the next day I do it in the morning, and then I do the next one after that, after lunch. That's not good because you're not making things, you're not making content into a habit. And if you don't do that, it's much more likely that you're not gonna make it. So honestly, the conclusion here is, you want to work in ways where you make your life as simple and easy as possible. Be kind to yourself. You gotta optimize and do things in a certain way that you maximize the chance that you're gonna succeed. That's my mission from me to you. I try to help you as much as I can. So, make it easier for yourself to be consistent. I would say that that's the number one thing. If you want to build a personal brand, you want to be consistent on posting things on social media, it's so important. And think about it like this, for me, a couple of years back, I started to see this as, me sitting here making this video I'm having a meeting with myself to record these things. Like, it's probably my number one most important thing I do every single week. So when you start to understand that, well, okay, I'm gonna have a meeting with myself, and this is probably one of my most important meetings in the whole week. Are you gonna miss that meeting? Probably not, because it's a meeting with yourself. There's no one else, there's no waiting for someone who's late, etc. So I think you get the point. So when you start to understand that this is the most important meeting you have every single week, you're going to prioritize afterwards, or accordingly, so to say. So this is my best tip and trick. Go get it. And now don't forget to watch this video where I talk about one very, very important thing, and that is why using AI in the wrong way will kill your personal brand.